Hello everyone, good morning and happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully you guys are getting your week started off well, probably at work by now, all settled in. I know for a lot of our schools in the county, today is the first day of summer break for y'all. So congratulations, that probably feels good, sleep in and not have to get those kids ready and rushed off to one place or another. So that's always fun. I am excited about all of the events that are coming up this week in Muscatine. Every day we have different guests on the show to just talk about those events coming up, things happening in Muscatine. So lots of fun stuff in store for you this week on the show, which I am super excited about. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our sponsors for helping me get this show out to everyone every single day. Those sponsors include R7, Lutheran Living, CBI, Toyota of Muscatine, of course, Impact Athletic Performance in Suntan City, Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, and then Hy-Vee as we take over their Market Grill every single day to bring you the show. Thank you guys for joining as well. So today we have Megan and we have a new guest. She's so excited to be on the show. I can tell by her face. Chasity Hargrave is also here from Crossroads, and we're going to talk a little bit about the supported employment here in Muscatine at Crossroads, and talk a little bit about what that process looks like and how you can get involved in that and all of those things. But I have decided today that we're going to break the ice first with our CBI Break the Ice game here. It's a newer one. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but it's super fun. So you guys, do you feel like you're competitive folks or not so much?
I'm a little bit more on the competitive side.
You're a little bit more competitive? All right, let me get my stopwatch ready. Do you guys know what we're doing?
I'm guessing we're going to pull the tissues out of the box.
We are. Yes. So we are going to, you are, I'm not. I'm going to just sit here and laugh at you. But you're going to pull the tissues out as fast as you can, and we'll see who can get to the bottom of the box first. When you're all the way done, just flip your box over and say done. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm getting my timer here. We want to see how long this takes you here. Okay, on your marks, get set, go.
Damn it! Who's competitive?
Oh,
come on!
Got him? Oh!
What? How is that possible?
She's like, wait a second, what happened?
Did you pull them all out?
You can use them if you want to, like, wipe your tears after the...
Mine are prettier. They did. They came out a lot nicer than mine.
That is true.
I struggled in the beginning.
Okay, so now that we have enough tissues to get through the show, that was fun. We always like to try new games and stuff on the show. It loosens everybody up a little bit.
There we go.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Crossroads and that supported program, this supported employment program that you guys have at Crossroads. We've had some other people from Crossroads on to talk about other parts of this huge program in our, how long has Crossroads been around in Muscatine?
Just over 50 years.
Just over 50 years. I was like I can't even remember a time when it wasn't a part of the community.
And the supported employment program started 2 years ago.
Awesome.
Which, I mean, most of the year we've been down, but
Yeah.
It started up 2 years ago.
So 2 years ago, you guys launched this new piece of the puzzle with Crossroads. So tell me a little bit about that program and what happens if you're involved in the supported employment.
So we have a care plan meeting where everybody gets together and we just talk about entering services. So once that's agreed upon, everybody starts job coaching full time. We do a development process where they kind of learn different skills, whether that be like interview skills or how to do a resume, or we take them for informational tours where they would go and sit with a business and like kind of just see what a job looks like. A lot of our individuals come from a background of only workshop experience, which means that they were sheltered and they worked for piece rate, and we're really trying to move away from that as much as possible and have them work just alongside everybody else. Crossroads has been probably the perfect model of this. We have individuals who work in the Crossroads building itself. We have individuals placed throughout the community at Butcher's Vegetables, Live Laugh Love Child Care Center. We're just really trying to push a lot of people to see that integration is possible and that a lot of people can work just as you and I.
Yeah. So when they go out into the community to work, I am assuming it's like kind of like a job coach scenario. People are there to help support them, things like that. Is that kind of what happens once they're placed out in the workforce, if needed, I guess?
Yes, so they all start with full-time job coaching, and it's agreed upon with the team whether or not they need to fade or not, and that includes the business as well. We're realistic in the aspect some of our individuals will not fade off of job coaching, but long-term goal, it's essentially to put ourselves out of business. You know, we want them to instill those natural supports within their place of work. We're already kind of working on that with a lot of our first placements. They're slowly fading out of that. COVID kind of hindered that a little bit just because they fell out of work and then coming back into work, but it's working out really nicely. So we really try to push for like what natural supports can they have. They can have the people within their workplace, or they can have picture books, timers. We kind of set all of that up for them before we start fading.
That's so cool. So you mentioned a couple of the places, not only Crossroads, but you mentioned like Butcher's Vegetables. They have individuals there working. Is it, how many people do they have?
They have one.
One
so
right now.
We had initially,
I mean, it's a smaller restaurant, so I'm sure.
And they're open very minimal hours, and that's kind of what's nice for them. They realize how difficult it is to fill that position, you know. What can we do? So a lot of it's carving the position out. So what that means is maybe something that takes a little bit more time. So for us within our organization, filing, I was talking to Megan earlier about how filing, you know, it's difficult to get to. So within 5 people, if we all have filing, that's one job that could be created for somebody. You know, it's something difficult for everybody to get to. Perfect. Have them come in for an hour a day. This is something that it could look like. Same with Butcher's Vegetables. Dishwashing seemed to be a position that they struggled filling. You know, they're not open that long throughout the day. So how do we get someone in there in that position? And they had someone initially placed who relocated to be closer to family. And they came to me and they said, you know, it worked out so well before. Like, do you happen to have somebody else that would be interested in this position? And it's worked out really nicely. She works 5 days a week. She's in there 2 to 3 hours a day. And
perfect for some of them. I love that program, and I love that you said like our goal is actually to like put ourselves out of business, so that this is just like a natural thing that happens in the community, and they fade out of needing a job coach, all of those things. It's so cool to hear that. So what are some of the goals for the program, like moving forward? Do you have other places in the community that you guys are working on trying to place individuals, or what's that look like?
So that's kind of what's been nice about COVID. You know, a lot of places are looking for employees. Yeah. Like, it's just
there are jobs everywhere. It's crazy.
Now the flip side of that is finding job coaches. So growth, really. I'm just looking to have more individuals that we can serve, you know, more referrals, which that's taking place right now, which is really, really nice. And we're actually beginning the development stages with a lot of them. They start in June. So, I mean, a lot of things have been moving forward, and our community is really great. And this is like where it should happen. Right. And it can happen. Yep. And we've seen it happen in multiple places.
Yeah, that's so cool. So right now, how many individuals do you have placed in a job Do you know, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be exact number, but like approximately how many individuals do you think you have
8
placed?
full-time placements.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, really growth-wise, I have 5 job coaches now, and this program started with like 1. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's growing,
yeah,
for
been
sure.
awesome.
So I actually, in my past life, was a job coach, and it was one of my favorite jobs ever. So if you're looking for job coaches, I'm like gonna put a plug for you guys, because it was literally one of my favorite jobs ever. I loved working with the individuals. You got to go out into the community and try different things that maybe you know, like literally in one of my days, I may have worked in like 3 or 4 different organizations in town doing job coaching with an individual, and it was just always so cool. The other cool thing that I loved that just made it all worth it was seeing the interactions between like the individuals that were placed and the rest of the staff. It was just natural. It was always really fun. Besides the fact that like most of these people are like the most amazing people ever that you'll ever like be able to work with or beside. It also was really cool to see them really integrate into a position, and like you said, to like be able to kind of fade out and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, you know, like you're like doing this. And the excitement that they have when they're able to really, you know, do that on their own and have that kind of, I don't know, I guess that success in their own life and be able
want that
to
independence factor of going to work and doing the same thing we all do. You know, that's what they want out of life. And to be able to support them and help them and, you know, help them grow into that position, it's perfect.
Yep, absolutely. So what are some of the things that you feel like are necessary to continue to grow the program in the community?
I would say, well, in general, more referrals. We're definitely needing more individuals. And like I said, we've been growing at a slow pace, and now that we're ready to like ramp things up, and obviously COVID hindered that again, you know, so that's one thing. And then job coaches.
So what's the referral process look like for an individual that you might want?
So right now, case managers, they work with case managers. They talk to them about, you know, this is what I want, this is where I see myself growing, talking about supported employment. And I think painting that picture of what it should look like. So a lot of family members have a difficult time allowing them to work in the community, whether they've been burned in the past or they have a difficult time making connections, you know. Having family understand that we're going to be there every step of the way, and you know, heaven forbid they get into a placement and something's not working out, we're going to be there even if we fade off. You know, we're constantly doing check-ins and making sure everybody is okay. So case managers will come in and they'll say, you know, like, this person is interested in work, how do we get started? And that's when the development process starts, where we do like the informational tours and we take them to kind of see what jobs they might like, because individuals have a mindset of, oh, I like working with animals, for example, and we take them to the homeless shelter to like walk in the door, and they'll be like, oh, I don't know if I like the smell, or like, oh, I don't know if I can work with cats crying all day, or something of that nature. And then we obviously have to get them steered in a different direction, like what that looks like, because we all have a different idea of what working looks like until we get there and we're like, oh. The only difference is they get to try the job out, which is really nice. Like some
like
of them,
perfect. If
like,
we could all do that, that'd be great.
So I think that's kind of where we would like to go in that direction of, you know, like let's go try a job out, even if we have a few business partners in town that maybe aren't committed to per se hiring someone and want to give it a go to, like that gives the business a chance to also try it out and see how they like it. And it's worked out really well. Everybody that we've kind of tried the job with has worked out nicely. So
that's awesome. And I think like for different companies out there, you know, if you're sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, we could totally use someone, you know, those are always, it's nice to have people like that reaching out to you as well, that have positions. But it is amazing what these individuals are capable of doing if they're given the chance. And so many times people don't see that, like, or don't understand like how much they are capable of doing, and it changes the environment of your workplace so much. It's crazy the change that you can see just in just the interactions and stuff throughout the day, and so I think it's a great thing for for the different employers in town to consider even just that change in culture that you'll experience when you start bringing some of these individuals on, and just seeing what they're capable of, and oh my gosh, the personalities that you'll have.
Yes. No, it's definitely a great morale booster. And if I walk in and I talk with other businesses, so I'll take Live Laugh Love for an example.
Yep.
You know, she says that it's a change of environment. You know,
yep.
She walks in the door and the whole room lights up. You know, it's different, and it's easy for us to like see things that are difficult for us in our own lives, and then when we work along somebody that struggles every day and has problems like interacting with other people in their places of work, you know, like trying to be that support person to help them through that has been tremendous. And then, you know, even if businesses need help, maybe they don't understand like where can I cut out some of this inefficiency, I'd be more than happy to come in and kind of talk to somebody, you know, like I can genuinely sit down and be like, this is something where I could see as a perfect carved out opportunity for a supported employment individual, and I'd be more than happy to do that.
Yeah. Very cool. I mean, so she could come in and just solve all your problems. Is basically what she's saying.
That's what I just heard.
That's what I just heard. Is that's what you just heard?
Not quite. But I would try. I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities available for our individuals that people don't see until I get to talking with them, and I'm like, well, this is where you could see someone doing something for you that would cut back on your workload, you know? Yeah,
there are so many of those little tasks throughout our days that, like, just like you said, like the filing, that just build up, and it's like it's those things that you push off and you're like, oh crap, I'll get to it, like I have to deal with this right now. And so those are the perfect opportunities to build in, you know, that supported person right in your workplace. So she's going to come in, solve all your problems, place an individual, and change your work culture. Like all these things are going to happen. But it is true. I'm partly joking, but it is actually true. The changes that you'll see. So what? I guess. What's next? You said obviously building the program. So if you could speak to all the people watching right now, whether they be individuals who might have a referral, or they might be maybe they own a business like Butcher's Vegetables, you know, that they're like thinking right now, like, oh, could I use somebody like this? What's the next step for any of those individuals? Whether it be like, oh, like I have a person in my family that I think could really use this. In that case, I assume they go to their caseworker and kind of bring that up, and that starts that process?
Yes.
Okay.
For the individual, yes. For the business, feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Okay.
I'm available in the office most days.
Yep.
Email, you know. And like I said, I'd be willing to come out and just have a conversation.
Sure.
Really, I think if I were to tell anybody to give it a chance, just what do you have to lose?
Right.
You know,
yep.
At least just giving it a chance.
Yep.
Similar to, and that's another thing too, like, low turnover, you're going to get someone in those positions that you already have like high turnover in, and they honor their job. Like even in workshop, like when we were working in workshop transition and trying to transition them to supported employment outside of workshop, you know, a lot of our individuals work there for 40 years. 40 years. Like I can't say that I've ever worked, you know, like a lot of people can't say that they've worked somewhere for like 10 years.
Right.
So to dedicate that amount of time to somebody, you know, you're not going to have a high turnover, and they're going to be there, and they're
so many of
their
these
job.
individuals really, a lot of their growth happens in that like repetitive, those routines. They like routine, they like having similar days, and they really like, I don't know, I mean, the growth happens there. And so that is definitely something that you see, a quality that you'll see in a lot of these individuals that you don't necessarily see in just anyone that you might hire, because so many people are like change, and like we've got to be go and we, you know, always like these things, and that's why we, you know, experience turnover in some of these positions that you wouldn't think you would. But these individuals love the routine. They love, you know, they thrive off of that, and I think you're right. You know, they're the individuals that are going to stick around, and not only that, but you have that supported staff that's going to be there. You have the people at Crossroads that, you know, can help through those changes. So even if that job isn't right for the first individual, you know, to be able to have Crossroads there to be like, oh, but we have this other person. So, you know, that just isn't something that happens. You like have your own, she's going to like wave magic wands, and all sorts of things are going to happen and make your life easier. So very cool. So you can call, just reach out to Crossroads, regardless of whether you're thinking, oh, I know this individual that might want to work in the program, or I have a position open that this could really work for. Regardless of that, give them a call and find out more about the program, have a conversation. Just like she said, that's where it all gets started. And who knows, maybe you have more positions than you even think, and those problems can really be solved through this program. And in that process, you also get to help an individual that's wanting to work. Those people are really few and far between right now, it seems like.
Oh no, I have a line. They're all wanting to work.
She has a line of people. But yeah, it is. There are so many positions open right now, and so look at those positions that you guys have open at your places of employment, and just be like, maybe this could work. If you're watching right now and you're like, well, I don't really do the hiring, let the person that does the hiring know and say, maybe this might be something cool to bring, and continue to build this program, because it's a cool program to have in town, and definitely an asset to our community for sure. So give her a call so she can get out her wand and do all of the things to make your life easier. I'm thinking about like all the things that I could do. But it was great to have you guys on the show. I love this program. I'm glad that you guys started it at Crossroads. It makes so much sense for you guys to have this program. Like you said, I was amazed to hear, I don't know whether it was last year or I don't know, maybe it was probably 2 years ago, I guess, when they were talking about even the individuals who worked at Crossroads. And like you were saying, like the length of time that they were celebrating some of these employees. I'm like, what? Like, holy cow. Yeah. So you're going to get committed people when you're working with the program, which is really cool. Yep. Anything else to add before?
No, we are going to be working with the chamber in July to do a lunch and learn.
Okay.
So if you've kind of got it, talking about it with the wheels turning on how can we make this, and haven't really found a time to reach out, look for that as well. And that'll be a chance to find out more about it, and sit down and be able to figure out how to integrate it into your company. So.
Very cool. So we'll keep you up to date. I'm sure Megan will let me know when that lunch and learn is scheduled, and we can make sure that you all know that as well. Thank you so much for stopping in today.
Yeah, thank you.
Telling us about the program and playing my game. And you can take as many as those if you need to take them for your day. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about more stuff happening in Muscatine.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
All right. So fun times, great program. I'm glad you guys joined us through that interview. Today happens to be National Brothers Day. How many of you guys out there have a brother to celebrate on this day? I can almost guarantee I know at least one of my brothers that will be reaching out to make sure that I remember that it's National Brothers Day, and to ensure that I remember how amazing he is, which I do. Jess is like, I got 5. Well, you got a lot of celebrating to do. Chris has 3. We've got a lot of brothers up in here to celebrate today on National Brothers Day. Also, Lutheran Living sponsoring this part of the show. It's always fun for me to look through the list of national days and see what's happening and the things that we celebrate. Brothers for sure deserve a day to just be celebrated. They sometimes are just annoying as heck, but the majority of the time my brothers are pretty cool dudes that have my back. So I love you to all of my brothers out there, and this is your reminder that you guys all need to call your brothers today and tell them Happy National Brothers Day. It's also National Scavenger Hunt Day. I really love a good scavenger hunt. Maybe it might be a scavenger hunt trying to find your brothers today to tell them congratulations. I don't know. Maybe you can intermix those two days and celebrate them both at the same time. So our sponsor Hy-Vee has Make My Monday deals, and we're going to share that with you right now so you guys all know about this week's Make My Monday deal. It's a good one, so we'll play that really quick and talk a little bit more about that here.
It's Make My Mondays at Hy-Vee. This Monday, get a 50-cent fuel saver for every $40 you spend on lawn and garden items. That's a 50-cent fuel saver for every $40 you spend. One day only, this Monday at Hy-Vee.
All right, so you come in, spend a little bit of money, just a little bit of money in lawn and garden, and get 50 cents off per gallon at the pump, which is greatly appreciated right now at the pump for sure. So hopefully you guys will come in and take advantage of that Make My Monday deal today at your Muscatine Hy-Vee. Another reminder, this coming up weekend is Good Makers Market, Friday and Saturday, so make sure you have that on your calendars. Make a day of it, and maybe go out to Good Makers Market and then swing down to the barn for the day, for the rest of the day. You can just do all sorts of picking and shopping and enjoy food and all of that fun stuff this weekend at either of those locations. So I am so glad that you guys joined us today on the show. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about the program at Crossroads, and I hope it got your wheels turning on how maybe this program can be a part of your life, whether it be at work or someone you know, an individual who may want to go out into the community and work. Make sure you give them a call at Crossroads and start that conversation, and maybe they can solve some of your problems. I am so glad you joined us. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. We will be back again tomorrow, but until then, remember that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Hello, I'm Tennille with R7 Reclaimed, located in Grandview, Iowa. We mix old and new goods together so that you can find the story of your home. When you get here, you will find a mix of old and new goods that are put together so seamlessly you won't even be able to tell which is which. And not only that, it's going to speak to you and your home. We are worth the road trip. We call it the R7 Road Trip. So punch in 337 Cemetery Lane, Grandview, Iowa into that GPS and make the road trip.